Hey, I still can't upload videos as of this moment. What's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite albums. And today I'm gonna be diving deep into the latest Xiu Xiu album, Girl with Basket of Fruit. Oh my gosh. First of all, my table light is even brighter than the light than the sky right now. So yeah, I'm just gonna turn on the lights. It looks like the end of the world going on out there. So anyway, Xiu Xiu is a California-based band who's always underground, always very independent, and is always really, really weird and experimental. They're from California, I just said that, and they are fronted by producer and vocalist Jaime Stewart and also Angela Cio. And actually, a lot of other people are also involved in this project this time, and this is like their 12th album. So, they had been around for like 2 decades, ever since Knife Play and A Promise to the very recent albums like Angel Guts and their last album, Forget, which is actually more poppy, more fun, and even though it's still pretty weird and polarizing, it's more poppy. But they have also released weirder cover albums like Nina Simone cover album and the Twin Peaks cover album, and yeah, they're both pretty brilliant. But this time around, they are really coming out with their most disturbing and twisted and darkest album yet. And there are only 9 tracks on this album, only roughly 38 minutes long, but it's just so hellish and disturbing and wicked and sinister and cynical the whole way through. And after when I first listened to this album, I actually didn't know how to feel about it because it's just so messy and cacophonous. But it grew on me a lot, and maybe it will still grow on me. I don't know. But anyway, let's get into the title track first, Girl with Basket of Fruit. Right off the bat, we get these super fast beeping keys, these layered, chaotic beats that's just fighting its way to the top, and Jamie Stewart's vocals, screaming, screeching, shouting, moaning, and it reminds me a little bit of Captain Beefheart's vocals. And man, the instrumentals here are just so shriek, just so chopped up, skippy, messy, and it almost has an occultist feel to it. And the lyrics, they are just fucking insane. They're mad. Jamie Stewart's goes from talking about vaginas to jerking into mush. And this track just feels so urgent, so immediate. It's anxiety inducing. Very scary opener indeed. But it gets scarier. It actually gets scarier as it leads to the second track. It comes out as a joke. And damn, the beats here are thunderous. The instrumentals are foreboding and dystopian. The atmosphere is very drony and dark and industrial. And oh my goodness. At first, it doesn't feel like anything is happening. It feels kind of hollow at first. I wasn't a huge fan of the track. But the ending of the track is absolutely fucked. Oh my gosh. The way the track ends is just demented. We get these super glitchy, choppy sounds. I don't even know how did they create these sounds, but they just exist, and they're just screaming and howling all at once. They almost sound like monkey howls. It almost sounds like the entire zoo is screaming at night because all of the animals are being possessed by demons from hell, and these animals are about to be broken free and to eat all humans alive in the night while we all are sleeping. That's what this song sounds like. The third track is Amargi Ve Moo, or Amargi Ve Moo. But whoa, it's a quieter cut, it's a slower cut, but it's still extremely dark. Oh my gosh. We get these very groany and low-pitched, deep, knife-cutting double bass notes backing Jamie Stewart's batshit crazy poetry on top. Very twisted indeed, and at first it feels already really unsettling and dark and disturbing, and at the end it just gets so dark. This whole darkness thing is just pushed to such an extreme. No rationality and sense can hold themselves together, so the vocals basically break into these unhinged babbling noises. And the performance by Jamie Stewart is just so torturous. Coconuts and bananas. I don't know. You know, like coconut, bananas, chocolate. That's like one of the tracks off of their last album, Forget. But anyway, then we move on to the fourth track, Ice Cream Truck. Oh my gosh, imagine an ice cream truck playing this song while going down an empty road, and you're just at the end of the road waiting that ice cream truck to finally arrive in front of you. That would be absolute hell. And oh my gosh, this track is absolutely hellish, horrible sounding, but not in a way where I don't like it. It's in a way it's so horrible I'm impressed. How scary. I'm floored at how scary and dusty and claustrophobic and monstrous this thing sounds. It's just all these collages and collisions and mixes of sounds, but in a very unhinged, tortured, wacky way. And oh man, I'm just gonna try to describe all the different sounds featured in the track. All the major sounds, of course. I'm sure there are like 20 layers of sound here. But yeah, we get these choppy Björk woodwinds, the kind of woodwinds that you would hear in Björk's latest album, Utopia. We get these splashes, wild horns, and they remind me of those wild horns from Swan's Oxygen. And we get these unhinged and insane squeaks and squelches. They are probably percussions, but then I'm not sure because they're distorted into such a sound. It's disturbing. And we get these bass as well, and they're just pure insane. They're just played randomly and uncontrollably. It's really scary. It sounds like every single person involved in this track, when they're playing the song, they're all just possessed by something. And this entire track is backed up by these slappy, choppy sticks banging on wooden surfaces, and the whole track sounds incredibly occultist and twisted. And then we have Pumpkin Attack on Mommy and Daddy, which is, I think, the most accessible song on the entire album. We get these skippy, choppy vocal pitches and vocal samples, and these sort of eerie samples, actually. But I Have a Mother? The beat has this flat metallic quality to it, but it's also very consistent at the same time. They're also very distorted and compressed, and they remind me a lot of lion dances, like usually on the second day after Chinese New Year, early in the morning, 10 a.m., like a lot of people are gonna hold these lion dances things, and basically 4 or 5 people will be dressed up into one lion, and another dude will be banging the drums, and then the lion would dance for like half an hour. And that's what this track sounds like, and it's disturbing. And it's like an electronic track, but extremely twisted. That's what this is, and oh my gosh. Then we have The Wrong Thing, which is another quieter and slower cut here. Actually, a more peaceful cut, rather, because different. It's kind of different from Amargi Ve Moo, as Amargi Ve Moo is way more atmospheric and way more dark and uncanny. But this one, we are first set on a bed of cloudy sadness and pain, and these drony keys are just, they sound like the kind of feeling after you wake up from a coma after you got hit in the head by a brick. That's what this sounds like. And the vocals here, they are very clear, but also very whispery, very quiet. And these synths are very mournful, and the whole track sounds very dystopian and doomed. And the ending, you know something's gonna happen. You know something's gonna happen. You know it. You don't know what it's gonna be, but something's gonna happen. And yes, that thing is the next track. Mary Turner, Mary Turner. Oh my gosh. This is the most disturbing track off of the entire record, and probably the most disturbing track Xiu Xiu had ever put out, and I don't want to listen to this track ever again because it's just so dark and twisted and disturbing. And the backstory is basically a woman, Mary Turner, in the early 1900s. She got lynched for protesting the lynching of her husband. And that's just, man, that's really, I just, it just sends chills to my spine. It's extremely dark. And after listening to the track, if you have a soul, man, you're gonna have a hard time. It's just so skin crawling. And oh my gosh, the instrumentals here are extremely dark and drony and claustrophobic and industrial, and it just gets so sludgy and muddy, and in the middle of the thing, it just breaks into this Chinese music section, and it's like, I'm glad that people are finding Chinese music scary, like old Chinese music, because yes, indeed, in my opinion, I think ancient or old, traditional, classical Chinese music is actually pretty scary. We get these, maybe I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I think they are erhus, which are basically strings instrument, but with only 2 strings, and they're extremely deep here. And then we get these squeaking, squelching sounds from percussion instruments. I don't know, but it kind of reminds me of an innocent little baby screaming in fear, not knowing what's happening because the rest of the entire family just died in front of him or her. And oh my gosh, it's like I just don't hope, I just don't wish to experience something like this. No way. Anyway, the second last track is Scisssssors. There are a total of 9 S's on the title. And at first we get these sparkling, sizzling, blinking keys. They are like buttons with different colors, and they're blinking in different frequencies at different times with different colors. It's weird. And then we start to get these very repetitive and almost tedious drums, and they're sort of melting into one another in a really uncontrollable fashion. We get these very tortured screams and shouts from Jaime Stewart, so tortured, it's compressed, it's distorted, and they don't even sound like screams and shouts anymore. And this song is so ritual-like and so despondent and messy, and oh my gosh. But the ending of the album is certainly a breath of fresh air, because it completely defies everything that the album was, and it is basically a more peaceful and more serene and calm ending, even though there are still disturbing bits in this track. And Jaime Stewart and Eugene from Oxbow does a duet here. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, but there is something weird about the track, something unsettling that makes you go, yeah, it's pretty peaceful, but something's something's off. I don't know what it is, but something's off. And yes, it's a little distorted, a little compressed, a little weird, and the vocals, they're just melting into one another in this very twisted fashion, and it's beautifully weird. Overall, I think this album is an absolutely twisted artistic statement from Xiu Xiu. I Yeah, the instrumentals. I have no idea how did they create some of the sounds here. In fact, because they're just so twisted and distorted, and I'm just floored and impressed at how disturbing this thing sounds. Because not many bands or artists can produce something like that nowadays, and actually in all times. And yeah, just gonna leave it at that. My favorite track here is Pumpkin Attack on Mommy and Daddy, and my least favorite is it's a tough pick, but probably go with Amargi Ve Moo. And the scariest track here is Mary Turner, Mary Turner. And I don't know if I should give it an 8 or a 9. I feel like a 9 may be too much, because not like this album is extremely replayable, but then if I give it an 8, it doesn't feel like, the album deserves an 8, because every single track here works really well. So I'm kind of torn between 8 or 9. But I guess I would prefer this album a little bit over their Twin Peaks album and their Forget album, so I'm just gonna reside on a strong 8 out of 10. But maybe I will change my mind in the future. Maybe at the end of the year it will grow on me and I will put it up somewhere. I don't know. I will put the new score in the comments if there is a new score. And yes, so have you listened to this album from 1 to 10? How much did you rate it? Like if you like it, and subscribe if you want more. And thanks for watching.